Joe, what they call the biggest rivalry in all of college football, Michigan versus Ohio State. And as everybody knows, because it's been a big thing about Ryan Day over the last couple of years, Michigan has gotten what was the last 3 or 4 over. It's got to be 3, I think. The last 3 or 4 over Ohio State. I'm sorry if I got the number wrong here.
I think you're right.
But Ohio State versus Michigan, and what is the biggest rivalry in the country? Your thoughts?
The spread on this game is pretty enormous. I think it's like 20 points right now, and I'm sure that line's going to move. Ohio State, and this is no hot take, Ohio State has every reason to dominate in this football game. And we know in this rivalry, if there is an advantage, just the slightest advantage in one area, and one team feels like it's a lot better than the other, they're going to try and boat race them. They are going to try and rub it in. Even when these teams are closely matched, they have tried to rub it in against one another. But at the same time, this game is also nut-ass crazy every single year. And even though Michigan has been way below expectation of levels of competitiveness, they could still show up and put out a fight. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think Ohio State's going to kick the shit out of them. It does not seem like Will Johnson's going to be available. I believe, actually, he's pretty much confirmed out, unless I missed something here.
I feel like that kid has given up, like he's just getting ready for the draft.
I mean, and he should. We'll move past that. I don't want to waste time talking about that. But except for 3 really good football players on their defensive line with Josiah Stewart, Kenneth Grant, and Mason Graham, Michigan is not filled with the same level of talent that we're used to seeing, and there is a massive separation gap. This Michigan team looks more like Washington. It looks more like Maryland than it does look like a national championship team that we saw from last year. And that's why Ohio State's probably going to kick the shit out of them.
You're probably right. They're probably going to dominate. It's going to come later in the game, though. I do think that this one's, because it's a rivalry game, we can't make this stuff up. Kids play above their heads in rivalry games like this. I need to throw this out there. Michigan, for what it's worth, the last couple of weeks have not been bad defensively. I know Will Johnson is out. I know that they've lost. I also saw them hold Indiana to the same level of points that Ohio State did defensively, right? One had 17, one game was 17, the other game was 15. I do disagree that I do think that with Johnson being out, they have started to figure some things out in the secondary, especially at safety. Joe, they're 23rd in the country in total defense. The problem that I have here, okay, is that they can't score. Like, there's a strong possibility that if Ohio State gets 17 points, the game is over. There's just not a lot of ways that Michigan, unless some crazy things happen, which crazier things have happened, but unless something absolutely ridiculous happens, Ohio State's going to get their revenge this week. They're going to run it up, kind of like what Michigan did in the second half a couple of years ago with Donovan Edwards went off. We all remember that game. And if I'm Ryan Day, I am running it up. You know why? His fan base, this fan base that's probably listening to this show and this clip, Ryan Day went out there about a year ago and said, somebody asked him, Coach, how much money does it take for you to run the roster that you want? And he said $20 million. And that fan base didn't blink an eye, okay? They went out in their collective. They gave to their collective. They did everything that they needed to do to get guys like Caleb Downs, who has a punt return for a touchdown. That's the way you want them, guys. Sorry. Joe, this is the one they want. Now, we have a lot of Ohio State fans that are in our shows every single night, and I can feel it from them. Not only do they want to win this game, they want to run it up. And I got to say to Ryan Day, man, if you have the ability, and it's not going to be easy, it's going to be a close game, I would. Now, Joe, one thing I want to throw out here that does concern me about this game being close, if it is, big if, massive if, Ohio State is 43rd in the country on third down conversion rate offensively. They have found ways to not convert on third downs. We saw it at the goal line in the last game versus Indiana. If you're having to punt and you're not converting and you let Michigan get a first down here and there by running the football, they will do what they do to you. Hold on. They will time a possession you. Okay? Don't play around on third down. Now, statistically speaking, it's the worst thing that they do. If I'm being honest, there are some things that Chip has done on third downs that are a little chaotic. I'm just trying to throw what could happen here.
That's cool, but that's not happening. I'm sorry, but that's not. And like I get it. Like we're trying to present an argument that like if something we always talk.
I said big if.
Yeah, every game we talk both sides. We try to talk about like if things go wrong for the team that we think is winning the football game, what would help the opposing team? The intensity that Ryan Day showed and this team showed against Indiana, I think is only half, maybe even a tenth of the intensity that they're going to bring into this game. I really do believe you. I mean, you hit the nail on the head here. I really do believe that after what has happened in this stretch of time where Ryan Day has not been able to get this game, that they're going to unload every ounce of frustration for the biggest part of this, knowing that Michigan is down right now. Michigan's down. This is not the same level of college football playoff team that we knew that Michigan was for the past couple of seasons. They are steps way below that. Way, way below that. You might not get an opportunity like this for a while because if things go as strong as they're trending with them getting Bryce Underwood and being super aggressive in recruiting all of a sudden, they could get back to being super competitive. Ryan Day is going to want to blast them into an oblivion in this game. So I'm 1,000% with you on this. The line's 20 points on Bet Online. I'm taking Ohio State to cover. I think Ohio State is going to completely bludgeon them because of how pissed off they're going to be, and then just to go waltzing onto the Big Ten championship game and to have so much anger and so much focus when they get to face off with Oregon.
I got to throw one more thing at you.
Okay.
Michigan has been really good defensively stopping the run.
Actually, wait. I have a counter. That is a deceptive statistic because they're actually a lot of teams try to run on them and they don't succeed, but they're below average. They're 72nd in defensive EPA per rush. They're actually doing a really good. No, come on, man. These efficiency stats don't lie.
Ohio State has played the same exact teams that Michigan has. One is third and run defense. One is fourth and run defense. EPA per play don't mean dog shit.
Yes, it does. The rush yards allowed per game compared to EPA, those numbers lie. The EPA stuff very rarely lies.
All right. As God is my witness, I promise you this. An Ohio State team that in moments and times that have had struggles running the football, they still have dudes in their D-line. You go right on ahead and believe
they would. That was the first thing I brought up. They have two premier defensive linemen.
No, hold on. I gave you your time here. You go ahead and you believe yet again, like you did last Monday when I'm telling you about O-line, D-line, run game stuff, you go right on ahead because exactly what's going to happen on third down and why they've been struggling, they can't run the football when they need to.
When you make a point that you're trying to say that statistically Michigan's one of the best run defenses, they're not. They're statistically not. Yes, and I don't disagree with you. Macy Graham and Kenneth Grant are going to be top 50 NFL draft picks. They're premier players, but they're allowing a lot of productive plays against opposing rushing attacks. Don't be surprised if Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins don't rip off some big runs in this game. BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.